Hi everyone, this is Heather Lottinen from the Flourish.Academy. This is episode 195. Hey Bryan.
Hi.
I'm here with my good friend Bryan. Today we're talking about the Profoto A1 performance at a wedding because you are a wedding photographer.
Yes.
I shot this at a wedding on Saturday.
Okay.
All right, so we were talking off camera. I mean, a lot of questions about how this is going to perform. Okay, but what was one of your first questions or concerns?
How's the battery?
Battery life. So this does run on a lithium-ion battery.
Which is extremely attractive. I just want to know how well it actually
it performs. Okay, let me say this. First thing I noticed shooting this at a wedding was that the recycle times were insane. It was so fast.
Really?
I cannot believe how fast this was. So in the literature it says, I think 1.2 or 1.5 seconds.
Okay.
But I never had to wait.
Because you weren't shooting at full flash.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but you never would be. Have you ever fired your flashes at 1:1?
No.
No, that's like the sunshine. So no, it's never firing at full power. So let me say that. The recycle times were crazy.
Okay.
But also extremely consistent.
Really? So no like bright and then half bright?
Okay. Have you ever been using your Nikon? This is the SB900. Have you ever been using one of your Nikons or your Canons? I have both. Mm-hmm. And you fire and it says that it's ready, i.e. the capacitor is charged, but it doesn't fire at the right amount that it thinks it needs, and then your exposures are all over the place. I cannot stand. Bryan, I just can't live that way. I will not live that way.
Well, Olivia hates it. Well, not anymore because we shoot on it for all of our color correction.
So they fix it.
But when we were doing our own, it was constantly like this.
Yeah. Okay. None of that.
All the time?
Okay, I have the photos on my D750. I also have them in Lightroom, so obviously we need to go through them. We'll do that in a future video.
Yeah.
But I will say this, as I'm firing it, and I was pushing it pretty hard on purpose. It was keeping up, and I was impressed by that. It never missed a flash, and it never missed an exposure. It was extremely consistent. So that's the first thing, because I noticed with my Nikons that battery life, when it starts to wane, it gets really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know about your flash, but my Canon or Nikons don't have a battery indicator.
No.
So I have no clue.
No.
So if those exposures are starting to wane, you know, with experience you get a feel.
Yeah.
You're like, I need to change the batteries. Okay. Negative on that.
You know, I was actually listening to, do you know Amy and Jordan Damos?
Yes.
So they gave a great tip one time where I always keep, I wear a suit to all my weddings, and I always keep a battery for my camera in one suit jacket pocket, and AA batteries.
4 AA's in the other one.
Yep.
Just in case.
Just because there's no battery indicator. So sometimes in the middle of a speech or something, all of a sudden my flash will stop working. I'm like, what in the world? Like,
I can't deal with that. I know. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to turn this on, and I want to show you something. So, when you turn it on, you'll see that there's a battery indicator. You guys can see that battery indicator. So you see it right there?
Yeah.
So it's showing right now that I'm at half power. Half life. Sorry, half life.
After shooting with it.
Shot an entire wedding on Saturday with this, and it's still sitting at half. Okay, in fairness, I did not shoot the entire reception. Okay. I was the second shooter, and I left before most of the dancing started. I shot getting ready, processional, recessional, so obviously not during the ceremony, all of the formals. Really? And the entrances into the reception. Okay. And I'm halfway gone.
What about speeches?
Speeches, yep. Did those as well.
And details.
Details. And I primarily used it on camera. Okay. For my first test,
which is actually, I think, demanding more light because you're having to bounce it.
I believe that to be true. Yeah. So I shot with this almost exclusively on camera at this wedding. When I did my portrait session testing the A1, it was all off camera. Okay. So this time I thought, well, I need to test it on camera. I also tested it with this sphere, this dome, this modifier. And I shot it this way a lot when I could bounce. But in the church, negative on that, had to shoot it like this. You know, primarily, I don't like to shoot this. Right. Yeah.
Secular.
Yeah. This is not my friend, usually.
Yeah.
Listen, I got to show you something. This was a shot I took with it straight at the bride and groom.
It doesn't look nearly as...
flash. Yeah. And you can tell it's round. Okay, more than anything, above all else, I loved the shape of the light. You wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal to go from one to the other, but it was. It just looked nicer. Now, also, you see this symbol back there, that's for the beam.
Okay,
so you can make it
instead
wider.
Like 24.
Yeah, see that?
50. Okay.
And it's an icon, and all I'm doing is twisting this.
Okay.
So I tried something a little crazy. Now keep in mind, I was the second shooter at this wedding, so there was a primary photographer doing her job. But as I was doing some formals, I had a pretty big bridal party.
Okay.
And I wanted to see if I could shoot the formals with one flash on camera. I usually use 3.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, 3, because you need the light, churches are dark. I used it with 1, and I made this beam pretty wide. And I turned up the power a little bit on it. I was shooting it in manual at that point, and it was amazing. It was wide enough. And I didn't anticipate that. I was thinking it's not going to reach. It's not going to, there's no way it's going to hit those edges.
Hit both edges.
Yeah, it did. Now I leave room on those edges, for cropping.
Yeah, for cropping. Yeah. And so you don't get distortion at wide. Yeah.
Because I was on a 24-70.
Yeah.
But okay, I was really impressed. I used it in both TTL and manual.
Oh, that's nice. Did you find at all that you ever accidentally hit this?
I didn't
switch?
bump it once.
Okay.
I did not bump it once. And yeah, we have talked about that. That's one thing.
I do not like switches that move without
I don't like
touching them.
switches, yeah. This also has something called Smart TTL, which means if you have it in TTL, oh, by the way, you can make that brighter or darker just with this. No, this is very intuitive and simple. So this display has been awesome because there's not a like press this and then dial this. It's literally just that to change it. So I would take the TTL up or down, and if you do that and then you lock on exposure you like, you can switch it into manual
and it keeps it.
So that you could consistently have it instead of
because that's one of the reasons
TTL.
why we hate TTL is because it's one exposure to the next. You don't know what the camera's going to do.
I can't predict what the camera's going to do some days, so I don't need
That's
that.
why I don't use
yeah,
TTL.
I don't like that. So I shot both. I shot it in the church. I shot it outside of the church in the reception. Again, the church we were in, super high ceilings, nowhere to bounce. So processional and recessional were straight on. And then at the reception, I did have white ceilings. Okay. So I did bounce at the reception. But I was just, this shot, I don't know why, this shot just, that blows me away when I look at the quality.
So how do you feel moving from 1/128th, 1/64th, from fractional lighting metering to just 1 to 10?
Oh, good question. Yeah, it's something to get used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a hard switch or is this like?
Well, it only takes 2 shots to figure out if you've gone too far. Really, I would start out.
Okay.
Perfect example of that is the processional.
Okay.
So have this, I'm at the front of the church shooting it. I'm not sure where to start, but I knew, so right now I have it like half power, 5.3. I think I started it at maybe 3.0. Okay. I started it at 3, and I took, again, it was like this. I took a couple of shots, and obviously if they were a little further away, I just had to bump it up a little, and as they got closer, I bumped it down a little.
Ooh, so you were able to just, as they were coming closer, instead of bringing up your f-stop to decrease the amount of light, you were able to just bring down the light.
Correct. Now, the alternative to that was putting it in TTL and letting it meter and do it, but I didn't want to. Yep. I wanted to test it and see how I could do it. Yeah. I mean, I messed up a few for sure, but I learned very quickly, as I did even the formals. The highest I ever took it all day was 5.5. I didn't go higher than 5.5 the whole day.
See, that's one of the things that worries me about flashes that are this strong is even when you bring it all the way down to what would be equivalent of 1/128th.
Yes.
How bright is that?
How bright is that?
And so that's one of these things that...
That's how bright it is. That's actually 2 is the lowest setting.
Okay.
What they call 2.
Yeah.
And there.
That's...
I don't know. I don't know what that gauge is next to 1/128th without...
Yeah, well, that all depends on manufacturer of flash anyways, what they gauge 1/128th is. But that's really interesting because I think of how powerful Profotos are known to be.
Yes.
That I was worried that...
Oh, it would still be too much.
It would still be too much because this is their first
Yeah, like on camera. Yeah. I mean, she performed beautifully. Also has they call it a laser light focus assist beam. I had that turned off, so I didn't use it. Okay. But we would need to explore that further. Nice modeling light. Of course, at a wedding, I'm not using modeling light. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Yep. But something else I found out this weekend that I was really excited about. Again, primarily, I have to unlock it. Primarily, I shot with it on camera, but here, can you grab this? Yep. But for a couple shots. Oh, by the way. Okay, so it doesn't flop either.
Yeah. Our young Nuos flop.
I can't
I'm
have
gonna
that.
not point that in my face. I know what's
right. Okay, so for a few shots outside, I did put on the trigger. Because I wanted to shoot it off camera. So anyway, I was getting ready for the wedding, and obviously you check all of your gear and your batteries. All right, if you've used any kind of triggers, you know that these guys tend to have specialty batteries, like the watch batteries.
Pain in the butt.
Oh my gosh, because you have to have several of them in your bag. You don't know when they're running low. So I thought, where's the battery? Now remember, I've said this previously, I don't like to read manuals until I need to, just to see if I can figure it out. So I'm looking at it. This is Friday night. I'm looking at it. I'm like, where's the battery? Or do I charge this? And then I saw this little tab, and I pressed it, and I opened this to discover.
Oh, are they just AAAs?
They're AAAs!
Nice.
It was the happiest day of my life. So I go running into the kitchen, and I say to Craig, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. AAAs, but not only that, I was able to get into it.
Yeah, easy.
Now, some of my triggers...
No screws.
You need a tool.
Yep.
Okay, so no tool. All right, that seems so simple, like who would care?
But if you're doing a bunch of weddings, that's a huge thing.
You care. Don't you care?
Yeah, I care.
Yeah, I really care. So, well done, Profoto. Triple A's in the trigger was a great move. Also, easy.
So how did it perform off camera?
Off camera's great. Now this is the second time I've used it off camera. I did that shoot with my daughter and her friends. Never missed a single fire. Which you can't say for every trigger. You can. Consistent. Great power. I could adjust it from here or here. So it can obviously be in manual or GTL here, and it has the energy buttons, and you can turn the modeling light on or off. You can zoom it. I mean, it was, change the beam. It was super simple. It was all very intuitive to me, and I am going to turn it on, and there we go. I love this trigger. I didn't really have any issues with it. It just fired every time.
So I know that the D750 is like really good with receptions, low light, but we were talking about like places like Belisera that are horribly dark inside for receptions. And so one of the things that I've been trying to figure this out for months is trying to find a flash that, because the Profoto, this is able to work as both a receiver and a transmitter while it's on the flash, which I love.
Yeah, I can
transmit.
on the
camera.
Yeah.
What I want to know is when it's in as a transmitter, does it maintain the laser focus? Because I'm trying to find a flash that will help me with focus, or help the camera with focus in a dark room to have less missed shots.
Okay, even if you had this off, you're saying? Because if this were on, if you were using on and off, then of course it would work. But I think what you're saying, the focus.
Because my young Nuos cut it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't have focus.
Stupid.
Yeah, you're telling me.
That really doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I am. Okay, now, in all fairness, I only have one. I would love to have two. I mean,
Robbie.
I think ideally at a wedding, I would have two of these. No question.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're saying. So I haven't tested it. But we'll have to look through the manual and see if does this light still assist if this is on or off on the camera. That is a great question. I loved this. I was very surprised. I actually, you shot on Saturday. It was very rainy here.
Oh, yeah.
It was very rainy. We were out. We found a nice place to put our clients under to shoot them, but we were standing in the rain.
Yep, that's what happened when I was at Leon's wedding.
So I was in the rain a lot, and it got wet. It definitely got wet. Okay, it did not. I did not let it pour upon it. Obviously, it was not pouring. My D750 was getting sprinkled upon, as was this. Amy was holding an umbrella over me. But, walking between things, it was, I looked down at it, and there was some water in it. I thought, no, it's fine, it's fine. Didn't seem to bother it.
Nice.
So I didn't read whether it's weather, I don't know if it's weather sealed, I don't know.
Well, that's the scary thing, right? Because when you're a professional and you know that, okay, I need to get these pictures, this is these people's wedding, I need to have gear that I'm able to go out, and if it's raining.
A little bit.
I mean, that's a big reason why we talked about, in the last video, 70-200s. Another reason why I wouldn't buy the Sigma, it doesn't have a weather seal.
And you can't control the weather.
No. And in Western Pennsylvania, I need gear that when it decides to be randomly sunny and warm like it was on Friday, and then rainy and cold like it was on Saturday.
It was 70 and sunny on Friday.
I know, I shot a wedding on Friday too.
Did you?
It was
oh, it was beautiful.
So beautiful. Yeah.
And then 45 and rain on Saturday.
Sorry, Leanne.
that was challenging. It was challenging, but it performed. It never missed.
Nice.
I am so impressed with the battery. Okay, good news. I have another wedding this weekend.
Okay.
So if Robbie will let me hang on to it, this wedding is at a barn.
Ooh,
so
okay.
we have more light loss. You typically have to pump out a little bit more light, and I will be shooting the entire reception. So I'm going to test it and see, can I get a full, with the full charge, can I get a whole wedding out of it? Okay, if I were to go to this for my system, and I could get 2 of them, I would still probably buy a backup battery.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to not have one.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think I'm going to need it. Look at that. Lithium ion.
Yeah.
I think it's going to... I mean...
Yeah, well, I mean, we were just talking about this off camera, that, I mean, you've switched to straight alkaline batteries. Olivia and I still use, I think it's nickel metal hydride ones, right?
Yeah, the rechargeables.
Yeah, we just buy them off Amazon. But I mean, still $20 a pack.
They're expensive.
And they typically last about a year before we're not comfortable recycling them anymore. But if I didn't have to do that all the time,
it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It would save you money. I was telling you,
a lot of money.
I buy alkalines for every wedding, 64 of them. It's very expensive. And then I'll use them, and whether or not they're dead, I take them out. I put them in the kids' toys. Like, I save them, but I won't use them in my gear because I don't know. Because again, I have no gauge. I don't know. Are we close to end of life, or do I have more life left in it?
Oh, hold on! Stop the reception. I gotta go change batteries.
I can't stand it. It's a guessing game. Now I do wear battery packs with my AA's, but still, I don't know. To not have to worry about it. It's also. Do you notice it's lighter? It's light. I don't know if it's lighter, but it's definitely not heavy.
I mean, we'd have to put it on the scale, but
which I do have. I will say this. Listen.
Well, how much is a SB 800 or 910?
All right, SBs are I don't know, what are they running now? Maybe $500, $600.
So you can get a flash that's at minimum does exactly the same thing, but in reality it's way more consistent.
Yes. Well, and I'm telling you, if I had a choice, okay, the cost aside, because this is a little bit more, I would sell all of these and buy 1 or 2 of these and be more streamlined and consistent. I feel like it's a cleaner, neater system.
Yep.
Rather than have all of these flashes. These have a lot of power, they have a lot of controls. So does this, but it's so much simpler to use.
Well, for us, like I was telling you, because Olivia and I both go to every wedding, we have 6 off-camera flashes going because we're both on our own channels.
6 flashes.
6, and a big reason for that is recycle times. So if I could run 3 Profotos instead of 6, that means half the amount of battery charging. That means half the amount of gear carrying. So if I could streamline it out, that'd be really nice.
So that's how I spoke to you with the streamlining.
the streamlining is one of these, like, oh, if I could not have to carry so much gear.
I don't have to have my older pocket wizards with the cables and the connectors and all of those different things. It made things a lot more fluid for me and lightweight. I just literally had this. And I was super excited to test it because I've gone both ways where you have tons of gear and then you have very limited gear. Because for a person starting out in wedding photography, I wanted to see, could they just put this on their camera, use it as a flash, or take it off and use it very simply. And I really believe anyone could do it because I was able to do it without reading the manual.
One question.
Answer.
How'd you like the gelling it during the wedding?
All right, I didn't gel it during the wedding.
Okay.
I didn't.
I was wondering how quickly it was to on, off, gel, not gel.
It's magnetic, so it's just like this. It's over there. But yeah, you can have it ready and just stick it on there, and you can stack it with this. When I did the portrait session, I gelled it. Okay. So yeah, it's just.
So, but in the run and gun of a wedding day, do you think you'd be able to quickly? Oh, I need to gel it because it looks like it's 3,200 Kelvin in here. It's too incandescent.
If you had it in your pocket ready, meaning you had the gel already in its little holder because it has holders and different gels. So if you picked the gel you wanted and you had it in its holder, it's that. So yeah, very quick. Okay. Which I would have ready. So if you're used to using quarter CTO or half CTO, Then I'd have that mounted. I'd put it in your seat pocket. And then I would
My seat pocket's going to be bulging.
You'd be like this. And then I would just, so I was in this reception, which was very typical. I didn't feel the need to gel. I had them with me. I was ready for it.
But you said you had white ceilings and stuff.
I did have white ceilings. Yeah. Now my church was a lot tungsten-y, but I didn't gel it because I just felt like I was looking at them on the back of the camera and they looked really clean to me. So I just went for it.
That's fine. Yeah, I find myself more often not gelling because we don't have the mag mods because we have so many flashes, and so I've tried like super gluing Velcro strips on with flimsy. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, it takes so much time. And it looks ugly. So I just don't do it. So again, it's another. I'm all about streamlining things.
And does that appeal to you to think to just have less gear that looks more professional? And I don't know. I think so. I felt really cool with this on. And I'll tell you why. Because I think people are looking at that like most people would recognize a flash. But I think people were looking at this because one guy even came up to me and was like, "What are you shooting there?" And he knew photography, and I said, "I have this brand new light. You can't even buy them yet." I was kind of bragging to the videographer, "Look what I have," because it's different. Yeah, it's different. And so I tell them it's a studio light, but it's a flash, but it's a studio light, and it's on my camera. It's amazing. It just has a different quality of light than a flash. Like, hey, I'm gonna keep shooting with it as long as he'll let me, and we'll see how it does at this wedding.
I think you need to get a second one. I want to see what it looks like off
Ideally,
camera.
I would have. Two, so I could have one on, one off, and then I could have options.
Yeah, so you can get some nice rim light going on.
I hope that you found this useful. Did I answer some questions?
You did.
Okay, good.
I wrote in the comment last time, I'm trying not to get gas with these.
Yeah, I know. Gear acquisition syndrome. It's a thing. It's for real.
It is. It is. Accountants help you not get that.
Yeah, I know. They say enough. Hey, I hope you guys found this useful, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.
Bye.